For those who don't know, what is a covenant? We know. But for those who don't know, an agreement, I shall establish this agreement. And this is important because your word is important. Yes, your word, honesty, truth, especially among men. Noah is a man, obviously a great man. But he said, with thee, I make an agreement. A man's word is very important. Imagine making a deal with God. That's essentially what happened. Bro made a deal. He entered into an agreement with God. Oh, you got to keep your word. And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. Family's important. And of every living thing and you know, one thing that I think is worth noting, because God apparently is about to drown everything on earth, but he's saving Noah and saving Noah's sons and saving Noah's wife and also the wives of his sons, which is an indication that with a proper patriarch, everything that comes from that good root, it bears good fruit. Yes, you lead a family well, you will have a good family. That's what that means. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. Thy shall be male and female. Hold on, God. Why male and female? Perhaps that they might multiply and repopulate the earth. Perhaps. 1 male, 1 female seems about right. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him. So did he, meaning he followed directions. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7s, the male and his female. That's fascinating language. The male and his female, not the male and the female, the male and his female, his indicating possession and belonging, the female belonging to the male. There apparently is a natural order even among the lower beasts. Oh, how far we stray from the path of righteousness. He took pairs, male and female, said the female belongs to the male. A natural order I see. And of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and female. And this is important because there's an indication that of the beasts of the earth, some are considered clean by God, others are considered unclean, foul. Well, which are they? We'll have to keep our ears open to find out which ones they are. And perhaps you ought not eat of those beasts that are considered unclean. And clearly they should be limited in population, because it does appear that we are taking thee by 7s, the male and the female, when we're talking about those that are clean, and of the beasts that are not clean by 2. Of fowls also of the air by 7, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. Ooh, that's serious business right there, boy. That's serious. He said, everything will die. But here's the kicker. Everything I created will die. Woo. Which is to say, he is the complete and utter sustainer of life. He brought you up out of the dirt and will return you to the dirt just as quickly upon his mere decision. That's power. Yes, indeed, that is power. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. The Lord did not consult him. The Lord commanded him. Let you all know that the Lord has commanded you to do things. Do you obey? Do you question? Do you lie? Do you pretend to misunderstand? Do you misinterpret? Or do you do what the Lord has commanded you? I think the reason Noah is trusted is perhaps because he is righteous, which was stated, and also he can follow directions, which is important. And we observe in the Bible up to this point in Genesis that hierarchy matters, hierarchy exists, and those above us, let us follow what they have commanded. Things break apart when we cannot follow what is commanded by those above us in hierarchy. God, man, woman, child. Follow what that person above you or that being above you has commanded of you. But we persist in our disobedience. And of course, we find chaos as a result. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 until Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of earth. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. And the Lord shut him in. Wow. Now, this is so powerful, especially when you consider the fact that, the male and the female are a natural pair, a natural mate, needed for one another, and they bring forward more of what God would have on this earth. It was not, and bring male and male of that species, bring female and female of that species. It was male and female in pairs, such that we repopulate the earth. There is a natural order to things. And it is repeated. Interesting. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up to the ark, and it was lifted upon the earth. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beast and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things and the fowl of the heaven. And they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. Now, this is really interesting, and I think this is worth a pause for a bit of thought. I'll tell you why it's interesting to think about this, because number one, when we deal with levels of evil today. We deal with devils among us today, and God apparently said, kill them, all of them. Kill the evil animals, kill the evil people, all of them, start fresh. I think that's an interesting concept. But then you ask yourself, okay, well, if all of humankind was eliminated and all that was left were those of Noah's family and his wives, then that would suggest that all of mankind today are descended from Noah based on what we've read. Someone let me know if you disagree with that. I'm just going based on what we've read. You can send it in right there if you have comments, questions. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of the heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. And she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him anymore. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, and the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife and thy sons wives with thee. Now, this is interesting, especially with regards to God and his communications with Noah, which seem to be quite direct, very direct. Noah, build an ark, this many cubits wide, this many cubits high. This is what I'm going to do. I'm drowning everybody. Gather up so-and-so, gather up 2 of these, 2 of those, get on the ark, and yet, very direct. But curiously, when it's time for the water to go away, and perhaps for Noah and the beasts of the earth, and the fowl that was collected, and all the things that creepeth upon the earth, to go back onto the earth, Noah had to send out this dove to check and see if the ground was dry. Why didn't God appear and just tell him, hey, it's all good, go ahead? I think that's interesting. It's worth pondering on, perhaps pondering on the nature of God, pondering on the nature of the relationship you might have with God. And also this concept, which I think the religious peoples, the peoples of the book, seem to ignore a bit, which is the idea that God isn't doing everything. You have to do something. Yeah, I think that's an important concept. You have to do something now and then. God is not doing everything for you. God didn't build the ark. Noah built the ark. Pay attention. Sometimes we think we can pray everything away. I'm going to leave it up to God. Did Noah leave building the ark up to God? God gave you directions. Go ahead and get to building. Men, you must build. Some of you guys are leaving things up to God, or you're leaving it up to somebody else. That's why it never gets done. Learn from Noah. Be a builder. Build is what you must do. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of everything creeping upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. This is an important thing. The Lord is basically saying that was the last time. I won't tear this place up again. That was the final time. Important, worth noting. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Never will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Now that's interesting. So the world doesn't end, is what he's saying. He says, while the earth remaineth, if the earth is here, you will have these seasons and you will have these transitions, day and night, one after the other, cold and heat, perpetual. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. This seems to be a command for the good peoples. A command for the good men, multiply. He did not say to Noah's wife, he did not say to the wives of Noah's sons. He said, and it's interesting here, and we want to track this. It seems as though God is communicating to men at this point. Noah in particular and his sons. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fish in the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. What? Is it? I don't know. Can you be a vegetarian? I mean, is God saying it's an option or it's a required diet? I don't know. Let's pay attention. But it seems as though this is a bit out of line with the vegetarian idea that, we should not be eating meat. It almost sounds as though God put it there for us. Every moving thing that liveth, that's a lot of things. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. This is actually something you can also find in the Quran. Important. I'm going to repeat it. But flesh with the life thereof, flesh that is alive, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man. At the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. Sounds like an eye for an eye. I'm going to repeat that to you. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you be ye fruitful and multiply, which is the opposite of murder, opposite of death, right? Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. There's a lot of repeating of multiply, 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 talking to the righteous peoples of the earth, which are represented by Noah and his lineage alone at this time. And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. Now, this is similar to the Quran because it is repetitive. The Quran, as we read, is very repetitive, much more than this, with much less beauty than this, truth be told, at least up to where we have read. Parts of the Quran read better than other parts. Parts of the Bible read better than other parts. And we're going to go through this with a critical eye. But we have certainly heard the Lord repeat 2 times that he will not drown every living being again. And God said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and I shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. What are we referring to? And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. That's the 3rd time by my memory that he's mentioned this. And when he mentions a bow and the cloud over the earth, it sounds to me like he is referencing a rainbow, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and let me know what you think. Yes, indeed, I tend to agree with you. A rainbow. In fact, it is ironic that a rainbow is what God says is a reminder of the agreement between man and the Lord. But not any man, but Noah and his lineage, the good of mankind and the Lord. It is a reminder of a promise, of an agreement. Yet we've had those who are deviants, those who are against the will of the Lord, against the word of the Lord, those who probably should have been drowned, who are now hijacking the most natural of symbols, the rainbow, and turning it into the opposite of what God would have it represent, which is a reminder of divinity and that divine promise. They have turned it into something that represents filth and deviance. Amazing, the switcheroo. And you let them steal it. Yes, you did. You let them steal it. America used to be a Christian nation, and I do believe that the LGBTQ and all of their marketing savvy has come up out of the United States of America. Oh boy, we getting heated up here. And this is such a fascinating read because we're reading of men who lived hundreds of years. We're reading of a time where giants existed. We're reading of an ark that could fit 2 of each kind of animal. This is a fascinating read, really. And the question is, how do we understand this? Do we understand this in a literal sense? Do we understand it through metaphor? Are these literary devices? And it's particularly interesting because there's certain parts that are repeated in terms of naming the age that a man was when he was doing X, Y, and Z, which doesn't really seem to have much literary value. It doesn't seem like there's logical reasons that it would be hyperbolic. So the question is, did that exist? Was there a time when this existed on the earth? Fascinating stuff. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And that's fascinating to me because there's a re-emphasis that the covenant was not just with man, but also with the beast of the earth, the fowl of the air, and all that creepeth upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And this has been noted many times, and it's being noted again. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. Interesting. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. Let me repeat that. Yes, because we are talking about drunkenness, which we typically find to not be a good thing, right? So let's dive in. Is it okay to drink? How much is okay to drink? Who does the Lord favor? We're going to have to track this over time. Also, there may be some words periodically that you're not quite keen on. Let me know if you think I should clarify it. We're talking about a farmer here, right? Let's go ahead and get this work. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of wine and was drunken. This was noted. This was not skipped over. He drank of wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Very interesting. It has indicated to us, perhaps there's nothing wrong with having a vineyard. But then he became drunken from drinking the wine. And resulting from the drinking of wine were bad things, namely his nakedness, which was not to be seen by his son, but it was saw. His son reported this, and his two sons came walking backward, such that they could cover their father, suggesting that it is not right for you to be naked, man to man, even with your adult boys, your adult offspring, teaching us something. This was clearly a bad behavior, one that could cause shame, something the boys didn't even want to, or the men did not even want to lay eyes upon, and it resulted from what? Drunkenness. Drunkenness. This is the first time in all of the word that we have heard of drunkenness. I would surmise that drunkenness is a bad thing, and the first note of bad things occurring after having wiped off the face of the earth all of the bad men, women, and beasts is this state of drunkenness. This is the very first thing that has occurred and led to something bad. Come on. Stick with me. Stick with me here. Yeah, stick with me here. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Well, what? Wait, what? Hold on. And we're just reading this linear, right? Noah, the farmer, planted a vineyard, became drunk on his own wine, was drunken and uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. I'm going to repeat that. Ham, father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Okay, just make sure we understand here. And Noah awoke from his wine. So he was in a drunken stoop. He was blacked out, maybe. He was out of there. Okay. And knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, cursed be Canaan. Well, had Canaan done anything? It said, Ham, father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. Ham's father was Noah. Am I remembering that correctly? Am I remembering that correctly? Let's see. We just want to make sure, right? Make sure we're accurate. In the self-same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah. We're correct. We're remembering correctly. I hope you guys are tracking with me. This is getting interesting. This is getting interesting. So here we are. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. We didn't hear the voice of God come back. We haven't heard the voice of God. You guys take note of that. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. That's a long life. That's a long life. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. Yes, of course. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshesh, Tiras. And the sons of Gomer. And it just goes on and on and on. As a reader, and someone let me know if we missed it, if we've misunderstood, it's worth considering. Why is Canaan a bad guy? Why is Canaan to be a servant? Why? I think that's worth understanding. Maybe we'll understand it later, but that's of note. And we'll get back after it sometime soon. It has been an absolute pleasure to have this time to, dive into the word, especially on a night in which people go out and they become drunken like Noah from his vineyard, and they perhaps, hey, let's not get into it. Let's just go ahead and end this with our tradition, the Creed of the Assassin. Repeat after me with full conviction, knowing this is true of you. The Creed of the Assassin.
I am going to be who I truly am.
Because I am remarkable.
And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part, to show the greatest part, to show the greatest part of who I am. Until next time.